The biggest barrier to entry when it comes to getting into self-filming is knowing what you need and where to find it. I'm going to give you 4 things that are going to help you get started today. I'm Jeremy from Capture Outdoors. If this is your first time visiting the channel, consider subscribing for info on gear, techniques, and technology that are going to make you a better self-filmer. The first one is blatantly obvious, and it's a camera. You need some sort of way to capture your video. If you're just getting started in self-filming your own hunts, the camera that I would recommend is a camera that you probably already own, and it's within your cell phone. So a lot of people are kind of unaware of the capability that their cell phones have. You know, looking at this example, we can see that this iPhone X, pretty common model, is able to shoot in 1080p or 4K. I know that my iPhone X shoots in 1080p. I don't think mine shoots in 4K. I think that's more for the higher end models. The added benefit of using your phone to self-film your hunts is that you won't have to go out and spend any money because you already own the item that's capable of doing the job. Another thing is that there are plenty of mounting options available. Mounts are going to be, universally threaded. They're going to be very cheap and available across many different retailers, brick and mortar and online. The next 2 type of cameras I probably wouldn't recommend for somebody just getting into self-filming, and these are going to be DSLR and mirrorless. So 2 different technologies, one's a little bit newer. If you can find one for cheap, go ahead and grab it, but just understand that to fully optimize these cameras, you need to have some familiarity in videography, photography, or self-filming in general. And for me, I know that mine requires 2 hands to manipulate the camera, so just keep that in mind. Now, the type that most people would recommend, most seasoned self-filmers or hunters would recommend is a camcorder. These are very user-friendly. There's plenty of options available. There's a ton of them on the market, and they can be had for relatively cheap, used. Now, when it comes to cameras, you can be very strategic in how you go about buying one. I know that there are a lot of Facebook groups available for selling old camera gear, people that are looking to upgrade. You can look on Facebook Marketplace. You can look at sites like Best Buy where they have the open box availability, where somebody has bought this item before and returned it back to the store, but it's not in the original condition, so some of the paper may be torn up, the box may be in rough shape, and they kind of list out what grade of degradation the camera is actually in as far as packaging and wear and tear. They'll still sell this camera to you and offer that a warranty or a guarantee that it'll work for a certain amount of time, but it might be a little bit blemished, and you can really get a good deal here. I would say probably don't go with fair or poor. I would probably get excellent or pretty good, and you can save about $30 to $50 just depending on the total cost of the camera going that option. The second one is something to hold your camera, so a mount, a tripod, or a camera arm. So when it comes to something that holds your camera, you need to think about a couple of different things. What is your budget? What are you looking to get out of it? What kind of hunting do you actually do? So are you hunting primarily out of like a tree stand with, or maybe a saddle setup, or are you hunting in a ground blind, or do you do spot and stock? That's really going to determine where you want to go with your mounting options or what type of mount that you get. So for spot and stock, I would obviously advise like a monopod type setup. For ground blind hunting, I think a tripod is the best way to go. I know that Fourth Arrow camera arms, they offer a camera arm that you can basically mount on the lip of your ground blind. And obviously if you're hunting a ground blind, I don't think there's any better way to go than using a tripod. Just the maneuverability, the stability, it's kind of out of the way. If you have multiple windows in your ground blind, just throw it on the other side of you where another person normally would be, and you can turn the articulating screen toward you and watch what's going on camera, manipulate it without getting detected. Now in a tree stand, it's a little bit different. If you're hunting out of a traditional lock-on tree stand, I would recommend getting an overhang type arm. But if you're hunting out of a saddle, I think Fourth Arrow makes the best there's out there. Just the build quality, the ingenuity, they're miles ahead of the game. So if you're hunting out of a saddle, I would definitely recommend that. As usual though, cost is going to be a limiting factor for some people. There are plenty of options out there. Some of them range from $30 to $50. They can go up to $250, $300. So really, your budget is going to dictate what you get. I can say though that you can get by with a $60 camera arm or a $60 tripod just fine, and then upgrade at a later time if you're really having difficulties, getting that fluid movement or getting the camera in position to get the shot on film. So really, you can get started with not a lot and then upgrade later. Just keep your mind open and don't be stuck to one brand or one type. There are plenty of options out there that'll suit your needs. The third thing is some way to capture some sort of audio. When it comes to audio for your videos, there's a couple of different options. I'll go ahead and play a clip shooting from my iPhone and using the onboard microphone there. Play about $15 to $20. And for our specific application, if we're up in a tree or in a ground blind and the wind is supposed to be in our face. And I think that was pretty poor audio quality, and I knew it was going to be. I had to take the shotgun microphone that I was doing a review on, and take that off of the camera and shoot with the microphone built into my iPhone just to be able to get that video. But there's a couple different options. I did a comparison between the Rode shotgun mic and the onboard microphone in my camera. I'll include a card up top if you want to go back and check that out. But I was definitely blown away. There was a huge difference, especially downrange at 20 or 30 yards in the audio quality and just what the shotgun mic was going to be able to pick up over the onboard camera microphone. Based on my personal experience, I would recommend a Rode shotgun mic. Now, if your camera can allow the microphone to draw power from it, I'll include a link in the description that kind of distinguishes between the two. So if you have that, I would go with the Rode Videomic Go. And then if your camera does not allow the microphone to draw power from it, it's going to need its own power source. I would go with the Rode Videomic, I believe it's called. I'll include a link in the description that'll kind of separate those two out, and you'll be able to select based on what your camera allows. But for people just starting out, I would recommend a shotgun mic. I think Rode makes really good quality ones. If not Rode, if that's kind of out of your price range, I would say go with maybe a Takstar. That has a ton of reviews on Amazon. There's a ton of YouTube videos on it if you want to go check that out as well. And lastly, the final thing that you need to get started today is some sort of editing software. If you're self-filming your hunts, you're going to want to cut or edit your videos in some form or fashion. Now, there are a lot of apps out there. Some of them are going to be paid and some of them are going to be free. As far as the free versions, I've tried a couple of them like Filmora Go, Power Director, YouTube's editor, and video editor, and then also a free trial of Adobe Premiere Rush. I have to say, out of all of them, they were pretty limited in scope. I know with Adobe Premiere Rush, they cap you at 3 exports, and then in Filmora Go, you're only able to export in 720p with the free version. So just understand the apps are out there, you can make videos, but they're going to be limited in scope. Now, if you're just starting out, that's what I would advise. Try those out, see which one you like, and then step up to the paid version. I chose to go with Adobe Premiere Rush because it was the most user-friendly. Everything was laid out very clean. It was easy to manipulate the video and the timeline and add things like video clip or lower the volume at certain points in a clip. Made it very easy to do that. And the thing that I liked most about it was that as long as you have the paid version and you have the app on your phone and the app on your desktop, you can sync the information between the two platforms. So let's say I shoot a video on my phone, I upload it into Adobe Premiere Rush on my phone. When I get home, it'll sync to my desktop, and I'll actually be able to make more adjustments on the desktop and kind of fine tune and really polish the video that I make. I'll include a link in the description where you can go check that out. It's about $10 a month, and it's well worth it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you got value out of this content, go ahead and give it a like and let me know what you think in the comment section below.